Right. All right, y'all. Let me just run a few quick tests, then we'll be good to go. All right. All right. Looks like we're good to go. What? Oh, turn it off. All right, everyone. Welcome to the official Uber Eats Q&A for the month of September, hosted by the uberlifestyle.com. Now, in this Q&A, Uber Eats has made a lot of changes. So it's normally an hour, but if need be, I will hang around an extra 15 minutes because they made a lot of changes. But for the first half, we'll be covering the Uber app and all the changes that they've made and what do y'all think about that. And the back half, we'll talk about just the changes in general. Everything mentioned in the Uber Eats 2018 video, the new incentive, what they did with the wait time, just all that. We'll go over all of it. So what we'll do, we'll wait to the 5-minute mark to officially jump into it. But, for the moment, how's everyone doing today? And you can go ahead and chime in as far as what do y'all think about this new Uber app? I mean, me personally, I find it underwhelming based on the amount of hype that they put into it. I mean, they've been advertising on Facebook for a long time, get the live stream on YouTube, had a presentation about it. I mean, what do you guys think about it so far? I just find it a little underwhelming. I mean, based on how they were hyping it up, I expected more. All right, we're at the 2-minute mark. Like I said, at the 5-minute mark, we'll officially, go ahead and jump into it. But let's get a little noise started in the chat. What do y'all think of this new Uber app so far? Do you think it lived up to the expectations that they have been chatting about for the past, I want to say maybe 3 or 4 months? Or is it just kind of, nothing really changed, it's all the same? Lindell is crap. I'm assuming you're talking about the new Uber app. I can respect that. I mean, like I said, I think it is underwhelming based on all the hype that they've been talking about for almost half a year now. Just seems a little underwhelming. I don't think I bumped into anyone that actually likes it. Now there are features of it that I do like that the previous one didn't have, but it's not enough of them to justify like a brand new app. I will say this though, hopefully the app fixed this, but the little glitch where it doesn't show if a person is going into the apartment or not, it doesn't show if a person is in an apartment or not, like their apartment number, until you roll up on it. I haven't encountered that since the upgrade, so just maybe this app fixed that. If they fix stuff like that, I'm all for it. Another one, has anyone ever since you updated encountered that glitch where you go to the restaurant and it's been picked up by another carrier? So far, I haven't. If they fix that too, then I would say it's worth it also. The new app, not available for iPhone. Okay, now see, Kevin, you're going to make me go buy an iPhone because I'm pro the previous app. I mean, there was supposed to be a video that's going to come out like 30 minutes before this one talking about the Uber app, but because of time limitations, I couldn't do it. It's still going to come out, but you'll see why I favor the old app. I guess I haven't got the new app, I guess, because I have an iPhone. Yeah, Kevin was just saying that the new app, it seems like it's not available for iPhone. iPhone thinks it to be intrusive. There you have it, Microsoft. One of my friends, he was not too fond of the fact that the new app just literally dropped on him. Like, they didn't ask to update or anything. It's just like, he didn't care much for that at all. I mean, it was literally while he was out, delivering. So, yes. But they lied that drivers gave them feedback. What driver doesn't want to know the final address before we accept the fare? So, Lindell, you're talking about being able to see where you're dropping off. Yeah, I hear you. I guarantee you, the tactic behind that, they're gonna say, well, Uber Eats is instant pickup. You can just go and grab it. So in exchange for that, we're gonna hide the place. You know what? They used to be able to claim that, but you have other apps with the instant pickup now, and you can see where you're going. Now these apps don't have any market share. They're like almost nothing. So when these apps start getting bigger, I think a little positive peer pressure is really going to put the pressure on them to change a few things. Because I definitely agree with you on being able to see where you're going. If you're going to hype a new app, you can't avoid the obvious thing that the drivers want. One day I picked up a fare and it took me 120 miles out of town, and I didn't know how to cancel after I picked them up. And they put 500 pounds of luggage in my car. Damn. Well, for those of y'all that don't know, he's most likely talking about ubereats or like a rideshare platform. That's a perfect example. I mean, Linda, I will be honest. In that situation, if I didn't want to do it, I would just say, look, man, I can't take you to such and such. You're going to have to get out the car. I'm sorry. And they'll probably say, well, why'd you take the trip? I just let them know, us as Uber drivers, we can't see where we're going before we take the trip. So if you have a problem, I would encourage you to leave feedback with Uber to let us know where we're going. That way, you'll have full confidence that when we accept the trip, we're going to take you. And it is what it is on that. I mean, drivers actually do that. I won't say often, but they do it, Lindo. Yesterday, I had a double pickup, but they were from 2 different McDonald's. I had to call support. They said they would report the glitch. Now, Bob, is this with the new app or is this with the old app? Like the situation you just said, is this after you update it or are you still using the old app? Because it's stuff like that. If you're going to hype a new app up, it's stuff like that. If you're going to hype a new app up, you need to take care of stuff like that ASAP. I mean, that should be the reason that you're making a new app in the first place. They did the best they could, I guess. They said they would report the glitch, but at the same time, this new app is supposed to fix problems with the previous app, and the fact that it's not doing that, Uber should show us exactly where we are going before we accept. We are not independent contractors if we don't get that information. Kevin, what you're saying, that is there's actually some lawful ramifications. It's called the ABC rule. I don't have like it memorized, but it's basically saying the gist of what you're saying. If you can't exert control over the contractors, how they work, which we already know that's happening, and you can't withhold information. It's called the ABC rule, and the gig economy in general is kind of threatened by that right now. So if I remember right, there's a California ruling where they ruled that Uber drivers are employees based on that ABC rule. And if it goes all the way up to the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court is very pro-business. I don't know if it will get passed, but there's spotlight on it where it wasn't before. All right. We actually are independent contractors. But yeah, Ricky, you're right. On paper, like you get a 1099 at the end of the year. You don't get a W-4 or W-2. So on paper, you are independent contractors, but people have started criticizing, not just Uber. Uber's taking all the heat because they're the biggest, but really the gig economy in general. Uber, Lyft, Postmates, Caviar, Amazon, all of them. They're saying that, you know, we need this information if you're going to claim independent contractor status, because people, when designing the business, it's best for them to say independent contractor because they don't have to offer you benefits. But there's something called the ABC rule that really measures, are you really an independent contractor? So that's what's up for debate. What's up, Jose? Everyone, is the lighting good? Like, can y'all see me all right? Because I'm noticing it's going on in and out. If y'all can't see me, then I can up the lighting. They just call you that because it's cheaper than calling you employee. Definitely, Kevin. You hit it on the dot. Employee means that if they are not doing part-time, you have to offer them certain benefits like health insurance, you know, but really insurance things. Versus independent contractor, you don't have to offer them any of that. They both have pros and cons for the person doing it. Me personally, I'm pro independent contractor. You just need to go the full route of being an independent contractor, because the independent contractor has significant tax advantages over an employee. I mean, I'm not a tax professional, all right? If y'all want, one day I can bring my tax professional on the channel and he can answer some questions. But generally saying, you can, you know, write off your mileage. You like this MacBook that y'all have been following me for a while. Y'all know that my previous MacBook, you know, broke down. I had to get another MacBook Pro. That's a business asset. I can write that off or depreciate the value. All these come with independent contracting themes. But if you're an employee, you won't be able to deduct any of that. So what are we discussing? The vagueness of how they label independent contractors at the moment, Jose. But we're supposed to be discussing the new Uber app, and that popped up. It was related. Quick question. On Uber Eats, how can you see the details of the order, like the flavor of drink selected? D, are you using the old app or the previous app? Because on the new app, you got to press it's these 3 dots next to the name. You got to press that to see the order. Now, the funny thing is with beverages, they still may not appear. But I wouldn't stress over it too much, D. This isn't Postmates or DoorDash or anything. We just go and pick the food up. Technically, the beverages are supposed to be ready when we get there, if we're just going to keep it 100. Now, when you go to pick the order up and they give you the order in a cup and say what beverage it is, that's actually not supposed to happen. And that actually does lead into something I do like about this Uber app, this new one. You can leave feedback for both customers and restaurants. Like, if you have a problem with that, like I said, you can put in the comments or in your feedback, beverages were not prepared when you got there. You can put that. And I guess only time will tell if it has an effect, but technically everything is supposed to be ready when you get there. I judge that by what is going on with the restaurant. I mean, if the restaurant is busy, stacked, you know, maybe I won't make it as much of a deal because they're getting their butts kicked. But I've seen empty restaurants where you pick the food up and they just hand you a cup for the beverage. You know, in that case, they're getting the thumbs down. You weren't doing nothing. You could have easily filled these beverages like you should be doing. Let's see. Sometimes they don't tell you what flavor drink. It will just say fountain drink or something. Yeah, Ricky. I mean, that's why you always want to confirm this stuff with the restaurant. We can write off enough to never pay taxes. Lindell, if you have a high financial IQ, that is true. In fact, in some cases, the government may actually owe you a check at the end of the year. If you're tracking your mileage and you're buying things that are helping you make more money, like I don't have it on me, but I have this little thing that holds my phone up if I want to use my phone to record. You know, that's something I'm using for business purposes. You know, stuff like that can be written off. So, you know, plus there's tax deductible donations you can be making. So it's definitely something to look into. Since we're getting a lot of comments about taxes, do y'all want me to eventually bring my tax professional on the Uber lifestyle? Because if I can, I can bring him on here, and he can answer questions about taxes. Let's see. Old app. So you have an iPhone or Android? D, I have an Android. And if you have an iPhone, based on what I'm hearing, the iPhone does not have a new app. His purpose for me, I went to a McDonald's. I think McDonald's is most infamous among Uber Eats. I went to a McDonald's and they straight up told me that they don't. I'm not sure what it says after you don't. I marked told not ready and canceled the order. Like his purpose for me. Well, what did they say? Like, was this you came in the drive-through and they told you to come inside or something? Like, what was the issue? I use QuickBooks. I use QuickBooks Self-Employed for my taxes based off my mileage versus pay. I haven't had to pay taxes yet. It was $0 due on September 17th, Aloha. I may be doing it wrong, though. You could always cross-reference with a tax professional, but if you're using QuickBooks Self-Employed, it's very sophisticated. And it guides you on how to do it, so you're probably fine. And keeping it 100, my taxes were 0 for last year, too. If you know what you're doing, they will. Rideshare and delivery drivers don't have to pay that much in taxes. Like, I've had so many comments on various videos talking about, oh, you're losing money after depreciation of your car and expenses taken out and all that, but everything they're talking about is tax deductible. So it is kind of a contradiction. Like, the average person, they don't know anything about running a business. This is a business. It's not a job. They fix the order until you arrive. Okay. His purpose for me, that's just the issue with McDonald's. Most of them start preparing the food when you get there. Rarely do they have it ready most of the time. Let's see. You can write off 60 cents per mile, I think. We do not need that much. I'm not sure if it's a 60 cent, but it is close to that. I think it was 54 cents as of 2018, but don't quote me. D, especially when you turn down an order a few minutes later, or the same instance, they send you the same order from that same restaurant. I hear you, Jose. Like, you may decline an order, 10, 15 seconds goes by, then you get an order from that same one. Yeah. Why does Uber Eats, when you give a thumbs down to a customer, you still get the same person? You got to understand it. If they had it so that if they had it like on UberX, where if you rate down, you would never get that person, that would significantly decrease the amount of orders you would get. Because a lot of people, it's their like weekly ritual to order Uber Eats. If you're giving all these thumbs down to people, do you really want to reduce the amount of orders that you're getting because you have so many thumbs down? That's probably best for us that they have it set up that way. You have to make a complaint to support in order for them to ensure a problem customer won't be paired with you again. Yeah, like what Ricky just said. Because like, if it was literally just a thumbs down and that happened, I mean, your orders that you would be getting would be cut in half. Let's see. Especially. I was a contractor for 40 years and never paid taxes after deductions, even though IRS says you must show a profit. Yeah, Lindo. Like I said, you got to know what you're doing with that. And you got to keep accurate records too. Because, sometimes audits are random. You could get audited and you need everything. You need to have everything recorded so you can prove that this is how much you made, the whole 9 yards. That's why I'm having something like QuickBooks Self-Employed or the Stride app, plays a big role. Like, let's say for meals out, like if I'm Ubering the whole day, and I stop by my favorite restaurant to get something to eat, half of that meal is tax deductible. I can save the receipt inside my Stride app, and that way, if I ever need it, even after filing, it's still there. Let's see. Hey, how much do you pay your guy to do your taxes? All right. Ironically, you know what? So many tax questions. I'm gonna have them on the Uber Lifestyle one day. But for me personally, it's gonna change based on circumstances. But for me, it was $60. But you got to remember that we've known each other for a while. Okay. So that might not be the rate for everyone, but I will have them on the Uber Lifestyle because y'all are asking a lot of tax questions, and that's a perfect opportunity for him to come in. But he's someone that specializes in rideshare and delivery, and that's someone you want to do your taxes. You don't just want some random person that's never done it before. They may not be able to get you everything that you could have got. Let's see. I went inside to pick up the order. McDonald's said to wait until you arrive to prepare the order. You know what? This is how I handle that, his purpose for me. I keep a note, like a mental note of every restaurant that doesn't have the stuff ready when I get there. I count the total amount of time I'm there. So if I'm there 5 minutes or less, that's fine. If I get there and they start making it, but they can have it ready in 5 minutes, I would still prefer for it to already be ready, but I'll work with that. Anything past 5 minutes, and I'm not coming back. Let's see. Sorry. Yeah, I would definitely recommend. Now, there's nothing wrong with QuickBooks Self-Employed. A lot of people saying the Stride app is great. The only difference is, QuickBooks Self-Employed, it's not free. It does cost something. And it does allow you to, literally let you compare the mileage deduction versus the actual expense method. And whichever one will get you the better deal, you can compare them like, okay, I'm going to go with the actual expense, or I'm going to go with the mileage. That actually has some significant advantages. Let's see. You're right about you must know what you are doing. Yeah. I've always done my own taxes. There you go, Lindo. You have experience, and even before these apps, you showed that you had experience filing as a contractor anyway. So all this stuff wasn't foreign to you. Like if it is like a first time for y'all, like don't feel bad about consulting with someone, or like we're doing now. Ask your fellow driver that has been doing it for a minute. They can help you out. I will say this. It's a quote from Robert Kiyosaki in his book, Increase Your Financial IQ. But he said the most expensive advice is free advice. So if a person doesn't want to charge for a consultation, I wouldn't make that big a deal out of it because the money you'll make in the long run is definitely better. Let's see. Everyone's finances are different. To do this full time, I would need something on the side too. Right. All right, let's branch off of taxes because y'all have convinced me. I'm gonna bring. Ironically, my tax guy's his name is Elijah too. When we first met, we cracked up, but I'm gonna bring him on the Uber Lifestyle, and he'll answer questions about taxes. But swinging back to the Uber app, the new Uber app, is there anyone in here that finds something useful with it? Like, well, we didn't have this, but now we do. So I give them props for it. Let's see. App glitches during pickup. I slide to mark pickup. It will say I'm at the wrong address. His purpose for me. Are you experiencing that problem with other apps? It sounds like your phone might be glitching in the sense of it's not giving you an accurate location on you. And if it's your phone, you should have other problems with apps that track your location too. So I'm trying to play around with that. If it's your phone, you might need to get that looked at. I'm not sure that is actually the Uber app in that case. Uber Lifestyle. Do you do Uber Eats full time? From Ricky. At certain times I do it full time, but you got to remember I'm a dual platformer, so I'm actually starting to get back in the habit of doing UberX more. And as far as like what I do, you could mark me as a hybrid between part time and full time. Most of the time, it's probably closer to part time because I'm in my main profession. I'm in the sales field, so it really just depends on how my appointments land. There are weeks where I'm slammed and I hardly have any time for Uber Eats. Like this is actually a great week. As a good example, I didn't have too much time to do Uber Eats. I was scrounging to get the content for the videos that I was making over this past week because Uber came out with all these changes and I didn't have time to actually do it full time. So I was like, freak Uber, really? Couldn't y'all pick a different time to do it? But, there are times when my appointments will be not as frequent or may actually not have that many appointments during the week in which I'm closer to a full-time driver. Let's see, mileage deduction is always best for a newer car. Yeah, you are a good moderator. Appreciate it, Lindo. I should know with the taxes, like your first time as a rideshare or delivery driver, you have to use your mileage deduction. You can't do the actual expense method. Only after your first year can you, compare like, okay, do I want to do the actual expenses or the mileage? It's been giving me really bad GPS directions on a certain area of my market. Deborah, are you using the Uber navigation, Deborah? Or like, are you getting janky directions from a third-party app? To be honest, I stopped doing UberX because my passenger door got jammed by a drunk rider. Uber didn't want to reimburse me at all, so I just do Uber Eats now. I gotta respect that, Ricky. I mean, doing the bar rush, that's a different ball game when it comes to UberX. And situations like that, I would say a dash cam would be vital because the best thing to get that, you would have to go after the passenger. I mean, if we're just going to keep it 100. I know the person was drunk and all that, but, Uber, they're not going to be held responsible for that. So, yeah, I don't blame you for saying, you know what, if y'all are going to handle it like that, you just give them the middle finger and say, I'll just do food. I'm planning on sticking to Uber Eats and DoorDash and just work when I want to be more independent. So I'm Jose, what do you mean? Like, do you mean like doing apps in general, or what do you mean by that? DoorDash didn't accept me for my background. They told me that it's hard to prove damage. Yeah, like Ricky, like in that situation, dash cam like would really be valuable because there's no question. I mean, when you got camera footage, you got camera footage. It's just as simple as that. Let's see. It gives me the correct address in the app, but it directs me 5 miles up the street. Deborah, is it really 5 miles? Like, are you using the Uber navigation? Like in your navigation settings, are you using like Uber navigation, Waze, Google Maps? Like, what are you using? How do you feel about us not being allowed to carry weapons and defend ourselves? Cause you must be talking about the video that went viral. Now, after I answer this question, we'll go on to the Uber Eats 2018 questions. But talking about the driver that the boyfriend was harassing this Uber driver, tried to ram him off the road because of the passenger in the seat, or it has something to do with a girlfriend. Then he pulls over, blocks his car so he can't go forward, gets out of the car, says, I have a gun, I'm going to shoot you. And then the Uber driver, who actually was a cop in training, officially passed the bar a few days ago, shot him, and it was standing ground, and the police sided with him, the Uber driver. And it's a shame that happened, but well, to answer your question, how do I feel about it? Honestly, it's more of a Constitution thing. I mean, at the end of the day, these companies are not going to have it in their policy that you can carry a weapon. It's one of those things where they have it put in just to protect themselves, but the practicality of it doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you're put in a situation where you would need to use a firearm, you're going to wish that you would have it. So do you really think that some policy is going to stop you from having it? They don't have any way of enforcing it. It's not like you're going to get randomly stopped and someone is going to search your car for a firearm. I would say that's going to always be up to the individual. It also depends on your circumstances. If you're doing this stuff like in a light little cute suburban area that is someone's fantasy, I doubt you're going to need it in that situation. I mean, certain other areas, hey, man. See, I use Waze app, Uber app, and Google Maps tend to lose GPS signal. I would agree with his purpose for me. I would definitely agree with that. Especially, I think the Uber navigation, well, really all these app navigations are just horrible. Yeah, Ricky, I would definitely recommend the dash cam. In fact, we're jumping ahead of schedule, but this company approached me, wanted me to review their dash cam, and they're going to send me one. And if it's a legitimate dash cam, I'll do a video on it because technically it is sponsored, but the opinions will still be my own. If it's a legitimate dash cam, I would recommend that one. I'm talking about in general about being able to carry. Period, bro. Jose, that's something that extends past Uber Eats. So I would say I'm not going to talk about it here. Let's see. I've tried it on Google in the app navigation and it happens. I called support and they corrected my pay for the mileage. Deborah, have you tried using a Waze? Yeah, I would definitely stick to Google Maps, Deborah. Well, I just say use anything other than the Uber navigation. I mean, it's pretty bad, guys. I remember I read an article and the person could have been lying, but here's an article came out that there was a car parked on the stairs in the middle of a park, and the driver was saying that the Uber navigation told him to go that way. I don't have any way of proving that, but I wouldn't be surprised based on what I've seen with the Uber navigation. Let's see. Put the thing. All right, guys. It's the 30-minute mark. So we're going to switch tunes to all the changes that Uber Eats has made over the past 2 or 3 months. I imagine a lot of y'all probably seen the Uber Eats 2018 video. So from the wait time fee to the this new incentive where you get extra something for picking up orders that have been floating out there for a while, to just their overall pay structure from distance to time. What do y'all think about that overall? Y'all think it's more favorable? Y'all think it's just complete crap, or it's just not making much of a difference? Let's see. Jose, I don't like Waze, honestly. I just say just don't use the Uber navigation. It's a serious problem. Yeah. Waze is too youngster for little old me. It confused me. Deborah, I will say that it just takes more time of using it and you'll get used to it. I mean, navigation-wise, I guess Google Maps does beat Waze a little. But the reason I recommend Waze is because of the other features. You can put the addresses that you need to return to in the inside the app, press a few buttons that you can head to it. Features like that. Plus, if you are an UberX driver, I sync my calendar with Waze, and I sync Facebook events with Waze. So I'll go like all the events that my friends are going to, like baseball games or concerts or whatever. Now, first of all, if I'm not attending myself, then I just say interested. That way, Waze will remind me when something is going on. Then I know where to get the money. Let's see. Chris, it's nice to know when I get an order from a customer who has been waiting. Used to be I had to guess at that information. Huh? You've got a point there. Like, This new incentive, it does have some benefits aside from just, you getting paid more. It lets you know that information, and it lets you know really how far away this order is going to take you. Because you'll get familiar with the prices of Uber Eats and I mean how much you get paid per mile. So if something pops up $5 guaranteed and it's like 7 miles away, you know it's going around the corner. You're not going to take that. Versus, let's say something is guaranteed $11. You know that's going to go pretty far, so you can make some better accurate judgment on should you take it or not. It can be a filter. Deborah, I'm not seeing a difference in pay. Overall, I haven't either. I mean, I will say you need a difference in strategy to some degree. That's why I say with a lot of restaurants, if it is just a 5-minute wait, I'll go ahead and wait because I do notice a difference in my earnings if I do wait 5 minutes. Now, anything past 5 minutes, you're losing out because you got to remember you need to be sliding at least 2 or 3 orders in per hour. So if you're waiting too long at this one restaurant, well, that's going to impact your ability to get more orders in that hour, and then you can ultimately be losing. In most cases, I've seen a slight increase in my earnings. But one thing that a lot of y'all have been bringing up in comments, the shorter trips, like the trips under a mile, like the pay is significantly decreased. And I can say from personal experience, I've noticed that too. I find myself sticking to the restaurants and to the areas that give. All right, I'm going to give y'all some golden nuggets. This is coming up in the Uber Eats advanced scores. But there's 3 classifications of trips. Well, 4. There's the baby trips under a mile. In most cases, I would try and avoid those unless you have like 10 minutes left in the hour and you know that's a baby trip. You'll go ahead and grab it just because it can make the difference between $15 an hour to $18 an hour. But then there's the short trips between a mile and 3 miles, medium trips between 3 miles and 6 miles, and the long trips anything longer than 6 miles. Okay? So based on that information, you categorize your restaurants on what kind of trips you're getting. That way you can kind of get an accurate assessment on what kind of trip is this going to be before I even take the restaurant. And keep in note the time that it happens too. Is it lunchtime? Is it dinner time? Is it breakfast time, etc.? See. I haven't got those special pickups yet. Drove all night yesterday too. I guess your night fleet is saturated, Ricky. Because those orders usually mostly pop up at night. I've encountered some of them in daytime, though. What I like about the new update is that before you accept, they show your current location on the map, where you're going for the pickup, and where it's going. They made it more like Postmates. Ricky, they showed that on the previous app. That could be a phone setting. Like before, it would show the map. Like, let me see if I could pull up a screenshot of how it looks on the old app. But yeah, they showed the map on the old app. Give me 1 sec to see if I can find a picture. Yeah. So like they showed the map on the previous one. Now, the only difference with this new app, you can actually zoom in on it without accepting the ping. That's a plus, but I bring this up in the video of my review on the Uber app, the new Uber app, but they did something in exchange for that. It's real sneaky. You won't notice this unless you're a pro. But there used to be a scenario where if you put your phone to sleep mode, it will show the address. It wouldn't show the restaurant, but it showed the address. And you see the address so many times, you would know what restaurant it is. That's no longer in effect. I expressed my thoughts on that in the Uber app video, so I'm not going to say it here, but I just say that's some sneaky indirect stuff. Really? It just started doing it for me, Aloha. Now, that could be an advantage to this new app, because I have heard cases, like you said, where the app map doesn't show up. With this new app, maybe they fixed it so it does show up on everyone's phone. Uber Eats should just make a minimum delivery charge of $5. Friday had a delivery to office building I had number 1. Number 2, find parking. Number 3, take elevator to floor 26. Wait 5 minutes for customer in the office. All that for $3.74. Now, D, did the person tip you? That's going to be the vital question that I would ask. Did you get tipped for all that? Based on the story, I would say you probably didn't, but did you get tipped? See, your app looks different than mine. Oh, no, that was like the old app, Ricky. Like I have like the new app. Let me pull it up. But the new app, it looks like this now. So, that's the main difference. Like the new app, you can actually zoom in. You can zoom in. So that's the difference. Now, D, I would imply that you will watch part 4 of the Uber Eats course, because a restaurant like that, it looks like it's notorious for short trips, and it's in the area of your market that's surrounded by tall buildings. Now, if that's the case, I will be honest with y'all. There are areas of my market, which I will not say, but they're saturated with tall apartment buildings or stuff like that. And the restaurants in the vicinity offer short trips. I avoid those areas like the plague. I don't care where I am. So I don't even care if that guarantee is on there. I'm not going there unless the customer tips. Now, this is where Uber Eats needs to wrap a boost on around that area, because it's just not worth it. Like you just said, all that for $3.74. That area, if it fits what I just said, I would avoid it like the plague. Let's see. Can you explain wait time? Does it start when you accept the order? Robert, it actually does start when you accept the order. Now, they have some algorithm that figures all this out. I would say it's definitely not perfect. But overall, even though you technically are getting paid time from when you accept the order, I wouldn't recommend that you take that too much into consideration, because your focus should still be on getting at least 2 or 3 per hour deliveries. And if you're spending too much time going to restaurants where you are getting paid, but you're not going to be able to slide as many deliveries, then you'll find yourself, you're going to drop below $11 an hour. And that's the arena where you don't need to be in. When you're dropping below $11 an hour, that means you need to reevaluate what you're doing. Wait time starts when you mark order as not ready. Nah, Deborah. It starts when you actually when you accept it. Because you could never mark. You could, let's say you don't mark an order not ready, you'll still be paid for the wait time from when you accepted the ping to et cetera. Now the thing is, here's what they're not saying. Based on what I'm seeing, the wait time has a cap. So there's a wait time from when you take the ping to when you get to the restaurant and you're waiting. And then there's a wait time from after you start the trip to when you drop off the customer. The wait time has a cap, okay? That's going to vary on delivery, but at some point it's going to cap and you're not going to make any more, because they're not going to let people abuse it. They're not going to have people, I'm just going to put my feet up on the table and just wait this out, receive X amount of wait time before I actually start doing something. They have to have protection against that. I avoid the downtown core. I only ever really go there if the pickup is outside of it and I have to deliver it. Then I immediately drive back out. Okay, Chris. I'm not gonna lie. My strategy is very similar to Chris. Here's the thing. Oh man, I'm jumping. I'm really giving y'all some golden nuggets, because this is stuff that I really was gonna cover in the more advanced course later. And I still will, but I'll drop some jewels here. Every area you need to assign an income range for it. So if you find that this certain area you can make between $14 and $18 an hour, you need to mark that. Like, let's say the west north part of your city, that's the income range. The southeast part of your city, that's the income range. Now, what contributes to the income range is, multiple factors. How much is Uber Eats paying you? Did they offer boosts in that area? Are the customers tipping? And if that income range is too low based on the effort you're putting in, you need to avoid that area. And either the customers are going to have to start tipping to even out the scale, or Uber Eats is just going to have to wrap a boost on or wrap a bigger boost on around that area. I mean, me personally, my downtown, I wouldn't do it unless it's 1.5 or above. Let's see. I used your advice about sending a text message when you're on the way to the customer. I noticed more tips. Couple people even told me that other drivers never do that for them. Yeah, Ricky, like being a pro Uber Eats driver is about being exceptional. Like that makes you different from the other average driver. The average driver, they're just gonna go, hey, you such and such, here's your food, and go. And here you are, you're asking, you send the message asking for information that helps you get their food to them faster. You're nice about it. Then you show up there real fast. Then you smile, hand them the food, maybe make it, a little joke, hand them the food. That overall experience, like, man, you know what? That cat is very professional. It makes them feel like they want to tip. How a customer feels goes a long way. Plus, it helps you out because you can move on faster instead of getting there and then having to call them or, scrounging. It just makes them more efficient. Downtown sucks. Too much traffic during regular business hours. As far as I'm concerned, there just has to be something to entice you to go there. I mean, it's either a boost zone or the customers are tipping. Now, like I said, there are things you can do to entice that tip, like what Ricky just recommended, and I have a part 6 of the Uber Eats course goes into that in more depth. But you got to be making a certain amount of money. I would say the downtown areas, you should be making a little more than other areas because it's freaking downtown. You already know people are gonna have you going up 30-story buildings and stuff. Occasionally, you may get someone that's gonna meet you downstairs or something, but I just assume that that's not gonna happen. So I need to be making more money. I'm going to start texting customers too. I definitely recommend it, Deborah. I have a standard text saved in my phone that I send out as soon as I slide start delivery. And the standard texts depend on the situation. If they're in an apartment, I'll see a gate code. Say, hi, my name is Elijah. I'm a Uber Eats driver. I noticed that you're in an apartment. Is there a gate code that I'll need? So you can have that information. You don't have to be scrounging to call them later. The more time you spend at the customer's place, the less money you're gonna be making. Think of it like that. So anything you could do to minimize that, you're coming out ahead. Let's see. If it's an apartment delivery, I'll text them and ask what building number they're in. Makes things smoother. Yeah, definitely. In fact, my standard, let me pull up my standard texts since we're on the subject. This will give you an idea of like what to send in multiple scenarios. Like if a person is in an apartment, a lot of times I'll send this unless they have everything in the notes. Let's see. I'll say, hi, my name is Elijah. I'm your Uber Eats driver. I see you're in an apartment. Is there a gate code I need to get in? If there's no gate code, or sometimes I'll just send this one. It's even better. My name is Elijah. I'm your Uber Eats driver. I see you're in an apartment. Can you send me the name of your apartments and the gate code if there is one? Having that apartment name is just as good as the gate code. Because imagine you're scrounging up your eyes looking for the individual address of all these apartments. Or if you just have the name of the apartments, wouldn't that be a huge help? Let's see. I live in Houston area. Boost zone area is only an area with big buildings and medical center. I avoid it like the plague. I hear you, his purpose for me. But that's really what the boost area should be around. It should be around areas like that because, they know you're going to go through more effort. So they need to have a boost zone around there. Other areas, like there's sections of my market that's saturated with hospitals. I tend to, I'm falling back on it now because these cats are actually starting to tip. So when they tip, it's fine. And they're also starting to meet me outside too. Like I pull up and like it says stay in the car. So I'm kind of falling back on what I'm about to say, but I usually avoid those areas because finding a person in the hospital is definitely a drag. Has the same scenario as the downtown. But lately they've been tipping and they've been coming outside, so I'm falling back on that. That's what I mean by measure how much effort you're putting in a certain area you're sitting, and match that with how much money you're making, and the two have to balance each other out. In my city, Main Street is the best pay, $27 an hour, and Kits is a little mess, $22 an hour, but Kits is way less stress on my mind and body. I like Kits better for the reason, despite being a little less pay. Yeah, like Chris says, you got to really measure the amount of effort that you're putting in too. Like you got to have in your mind how much, at what amount of money is worth what amount of effort. Now, only you can answer that question because we all have different physical challenges or mental like it could just be more mentally taxing to deal with downtown instead of driving a few more miles in the opposite direction, and it puts you in an area where it's just not as much mental stress. Like there are times where I'll avoid certain areas just because I'm just not in the right mode for it. I'd rather be in this area where I'm not having to endlessly text and figure all this out, and it's not as mentally stressful too. So sometimes you may have your main area which makes the most money, but you have what I call a recovery area that has more favorable scenarios like houses, no apartments, and you will be making less money, but shoot, you just need to chill out there for about an hour or two just to recover. Let's see. Downtown should be curbside only during business hours. How do y'all feel about that? Uber Eats used to just be curbside in general. There used to be no taking food up to people. You used to be able to, you would wait curbside. If the customer didn't meet you, you just wait 5 or 10 minutes and then cancel the order. You be paid and you can get the food to a homeless person. It was known as a curbside service, so no, I'd be for it. Shoot. There's no boost in my market. I don't know why. I've tried to get an answer from support, but they always give me some generic answer. Ricky, the thing with boosts, the boosts, I see them scrambling about it now. They really need to get back to basics. The basics of the boost zone, it used to be to entice carriers to go to a certain area of the city because it had a bunch of factors to deal with. For the longest time, last year, like the only areas of Dallas that had boost zone was downtown and another area of the city. But they all had like huge apartment buildings and just huge buildings. So that's why the boost zone was there. They knew that, okay, these carriers need to have a little something to get them out here, because why would a carrier hang around downtown getting paid the same instead of going to a residential neighborhood where they got to deal with nothing but houses? It doesn't make any sense. So the boost zone was, well, if I'm dealing with all this, at least I know I'm getting a little, extra something. It looks like they're kind of scrambling with the aspect of boost, because this new system that they built, they really need to test it out. The new incentive, the getting paid for time. They want to test that out to see how it flows before they really start spending money on the boost and quest again. Now, I wouldn't expect to see anything for at least a month, because ultimately this new system they brought up, it is not self-sustaining on its own. You still need your boost and your quest. Because I see it right now. Areas in my market is trying to ping like me and like some of my friends that drive for Uber Eats too to go there, but we won't. We just decline every time. And if we end up there because of what it takes us there, we cut that app off and go back to where we were. Because it's not worth it. You got to give the carriers extra something to do it. That's why they need to get back to basics. Eventually, they're going to have to, because UberX is going to get busy, so they can't rely on the dual platformers. And winter is coming up, so delivery always goes up in the winter. So they're not going to have a choice but to bring some of the promotions back. What's the cap for wait time? That's going to vary depending on the order. Like, how far away was the order, when you accepted the ping, and also where's the order dropping off. Like, the cap is going to vary, like, literally based on the order. So, yeah, I can tell you. I've been declining as well. I'm in the DFW area as well. Neo. Yeah, I mean, eventually they're just going to have to get back to basics. They'll find out that, the boosts originally were meant to entice carriers to go to this area of the city or stay there, because, shoot, if it's not there, they're not going to. And if there's no boost there, there's no reason for them to hang around that area. I mean, the sooner they do it, the better. That's how I see it. Yeah, Houston isn't best for boosts. Red Gauss. I would say don't get reliant on boosts, because there's plenty of ways to make money in most markets without boosts. It is highly dependent on your area. So you need to identify the areas in your market that offer things that give you the least resistance. The restaurants don't have like a horrible parking situation. The neighborhoods have a bunch of houses, maybe an apartment complex or two every now and then. Like, areas like that, you need to find them. And also the restaurants, they give you medium orders between 3 to 6 miles. See, short orders, you hardly make any money. In long orders, you make money, but they take you so far away from where you were. It's like, So the sweet spot is those medium orders, where it usually keeps you within your vicinity, and maybe you'll go slightly out, but it's not that much effort or time to boogie back to where you were. So you need to identify the areas in your market that fit that criteria if they don't have boosts. I never drive more than 7 minutes to a restaurant. Yeah, I mean, for me, I measure it in terms of miles. Like, it could say 10 minutes away, but if it's 2 miles away, that's fine. But for me, the cap is, depending on what I'm looking for, it's either going to be 5 miles or 3 miles. I'm not going past that. This morning, I had a customer claim they didn't receive the food that I know for certain I delivered successfully. Uber paid me $0 for the trip. Chris, do you have a dash cam by any chance? Like, situations like that, believe it or not, that has happened to me once. Now, the ironic thing is, the reason I didn't get real serious with Uber is because they paid me a double wait time, not on that order, but on another one. So I got $5 extra than what I should have. And the amount of money that I made on the trip that I'm talking about was like around $4 or something. So I still ended up getting the money. But I was about to get real serious about them. I say in that situation, like a dash cam, customer wanted free food. Yeah, they need protection against that. I say a dash cam is important, because the dash cam is going to prove that you dropped the food off at this amount of time. And if you're tracking your miles with something like Stride or whatever, like, you have everything to back up your story. So it becomes a situation of, look, you're going to pay me my money or you're going to face legal action. I mean, even if the customer is making some bullshit, that they need to think about situations like that, because that's definitely not cool. And I would also note the restaurant you picked it up from, because I remember the restaurant that I picked the food up from that I'm talking about. That's on I marked that as, well, I'm not going to that restaurant, because maybe they just have some cheap ass customers that I don't even want to deal with. So McDonald's. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, McDonald's. They something else. Let me just fall back. Man, I hate multiple drinks. Last night, someone ordered 7 drinks. Here's purpose for me. Here's my thing with beverages. I actually look at the order before I get to the restaurant. A lot of time, beverages aren't shown, but like if it has too many beverages, I will actually just cancel. I really feel that more than one beverage, there should be a fee charge for it because they're harder to deliver. Some people may disagree with that. I don't really care. This isn't just for Uber Eats. This is all delivery in general. There should be an additional fee for handling more than one beverage. One beverage, cool. But more than one beverage, like where you're going to need cup holders and stuff, which not all the restaurants have, that's another problem within itself. There needs to be an additional fee for that. Like a $1 fee for multiple beverages. Uber takes their percentage out or whatever, and the rest goes to you. Shouldn't your trip show that you were at the address? That just happened to me. I sent a message to support, and they ended up giving me the money back. So this is apparently a thing now, because that happened to me maybe about a month ago, and I didn't make a big deal out of it because I still ended up getting paid the money, just not in a way that, But if that's happening too often, they're gonna have a massive situation on their hands. Because you know what, there's a situation like that very similar that happens on Uber Pool. Now, thank whatever we don't have Uber Pool in my market, but I've seen cases online where a person, their rating drops, and they go back through their history and look at their trips in the Uber Pool. It says something about a reimbursement to the customer. Now they still keep their money, but they linked that reimbursement to the customer. They just rated them low just so they could get a free ride out of Uber. I hope that scenario is not transferring to Uber Eats because they're going to have a huge problem on their hands if they do. It would be McDonald's. I would say that McDonald's is the Uber Pool of Uber Eats. I've been saying that for the longest time. I protested that they simply lustered to the customer. They made me feel like a thief. Okay. Bobby, Bob, that's perfect. But honestly, if I hadn't got that wait time fee to make up for that money, I was going to threaten them with a legal action. I was going to say, you're going to pay me the money or face legal consequences. What that means, as in, you get served and we're going to court. And a lot of times that causes them to straighten that out right away. If you look at all the cases where Uber and all these apps have gotten sued, they never fight it. They just settle because they know it's some bullshit. That's how I would handle it. We're at the hour mark. Now, I said I would hang around for 15 minutes more past the hour mark, so we're still good. But, hopefully that isn't becoming a thing because it's a problem that doesn't need to be there. I mean, good grief. That's something that the restaurant industry has to deal with. Why should us as carriers be dealing with it all? I mean, that shouldn't even be a factor on Uber Eats. I mean, do they have to have it so that the customer has to sign our phones to indicate that they picked up the order? Are we going to have to start doing that? Is it going to get that ridiculous? Oh, man. Let's see. So overall, are y'all a fan of all of these changes that are happening to the Uber Eats platform? Or is it just kind of, it's whatever, or do you just straight up hate it? Because I've heard mixed opinions. There's always going to be guys who work the system. I couldn't have said it better myself, Ricky. I don't rag on McDonald's orders anymore. I just mark long wait time and regret it. Huh. Neo, truth be told, I only do McDonald's orders under certain circumstances. If it's slow, or if it's slow, or if it's in a boost zone, or if I'm trying to get a Quest. But just under normal circumstances, I generally don't do McDonald's because I guess some of the reasons we talked about that plays in the role, but like in a big city, out of all the restaurants, like all the popping Indian food, Asian food, and Mediterranean food, there's all this abundance of food. You have someone ordering McDonald's. That someone is cheap, and the chances of you getting a tip is usually close to nothing. Out of all the McDonald's orders I've done, I've gotten tipped 5 times. I've been doing Uber Eats for a year and some change. That's unacceptable. Come on. Not reject or cancel. Let's see. I try my best to avoid the McDonald's in my area. If it's the only pings I'm getting for a period of time, I'll start accepting them. They're consistently inconsistent to work with. I'm not just going to crap on McDonald's. It's just a way that Uber can handle McDonald's, and that this is a way it could really be, it can entice carriers to go there. McDonald's is in its own separate category, okay? You know the carriers aren't going to make much money doing it. Customers probably not going to tip, and unless there's a Quest or Boost involved, they're not going to make much money. The moment you do a McDonald's order or you accept, it says 1 out of 5. If you manage to get 5 McDonald's orders that day, you get an extra something, extra $5 or whatever. But that, at least when you take McDonald's, you feel like, well, you know what? It could still be worth my while. That's how they can handle that. Because until they do, it's just not going to be worth it in a lot of cases. Let's see. Another customer trick is if they are outside the delivery range, they give the wrong delivery address and then text you after pickup to say, oh, by the way, I'm at this faraway place. If you contact Uber after, they'll pay you for the extra distance. Yeah, Chris, I've had that happen a few times. Now, sometimes it actually is a genuine mistake where they moved and forgot to update the address. But, sometimes it could be just them trying to game the system. And you have 2 choices when that happens. You can call support and tell them you're not going to do it, and they'll have to cancel the order. Or you can make sure they text this to you, because when they text it, there's a record of that, them asking you to say it, and specifically tell them, can you text me that information asking me to go there? Then you screenshot that. Even though it's in their system, you still want to screenshot. Then you put in the app support that the app told me to go here, the customer told me to go here. And Uber Eats will reimburse you the distance between the 2. I am interested, where does that reimbursement come from? Like, is Uber Eats subsidizing it, or does it get charged to the customer's account? I would love to see that. I would hope it gets charged to the customer's account. What about canceling too many orders? How does that affect us? His purpose for me, like the cancellation rate is generally between 20 and 30%. That's when they'll have an issue with it. So with me, I'll be honest. I don't really care. And when it comes to canceling, if I accept the order and, I just happen to, I accepted thinking it was something else and it's something I don't want, I'll just cancel. I don't care. If they have a problem with it, they can start showing us where we go. But, generally speaking, you want to keep it around 20 or 30%. I know on the new app, it doesn't show your cancellation rate, but you can kind of mentally keep in mind where you're at. And that's also why I'm picky about what I accept. If it's slow, I jump to DoorDash. His purpose for me, Uber Eats will get the hint of there are too many cancellations. Yeah, I mean, they're not really, they're using some warped form of logic. Think of it like this. If we're not going to show them the restaurant, now, even though if you've been watching my video, you still know how to figure out what restaurant it is, but just on the surface, if we're not going to show them the restaurant and we have this cancellation rate in place, well, if they accept something, then they have to go through it. That's not true. What they're finding is, people just cancel. You can't force people to do something they don't want to do, especially in this independent contracting thing. We're not employees. A friend of mine was asking the same question for Amazon about reimbursements. Neo, truth be told, that's something that this gig delivery system just needs to think about in general. It's one of those things where it seems real nice in concept in your head, but then real issues like that pop up. You need to have some system to stop them or deal with them when they happen. I mean, I don't want it to come to this because it would just require an extra step. But, you know, technically, if they had it so that the customer has to finger sign your phone to confirm that they received the order, that would take care of the problem. I just don't want to see it happen because that would take more time. It's an extra step. And not a whole bunch of time, but it's still an extra step. What about y'all? Do y'all want to see that happen? Where you got the customer will have to finger sign your phone to confirm they picked it up? Because truth be told, me and my friend were talking a few months ago about how restaurants they've had situations where people have literally stolen food from them. And I think they play a role in that. There's a restaurant, this Mediterranean place, where they have this rack filled of Uber Eats orders, and they just say just take it and go. But anyone could do that. Someone could walk in there, you know, no Uber Eats or nothing, just grab that stuff and leave, and you would just assume they're an Uber Eats driver. So I think they play a huge role in that. So they have it so that you sign for it now, which truth be told, that still doesn't do any good. You can just sign a false name. Let's see. I would be okay with it. Red Gas. Hell no. Way too much time spent. Ricky. It looks like we're getting mixed opinions about it. I mean, I would say I don't want to see it happen, but if the situation we've kept saying keeps happening, if it came to that, I would be willing to deal with it. At least you would know that no one's trying to jiffy you out of your money. Hey, what's up? What's up, Adrian? No, absolutely not. How about they just use our GPS and the customer's GPS? D's got a good point. Because we know for a fact that Uber's tracking our phones, tracking our locations, because that's how they reimburse us for wait time previously. That's what I mean by, in these situations, it's one thing because Uber has to track it, but let's say they don't want to submit that information. Well, you have your Stride app that's been matching up with all the mileage you've been driving that day, and it matches up with all these other Uber trips, but it's not going to match up with this one Uber trip, which this customer is trying to get some free food out of it. It doesn't work that way. And then you got the dash cam footage to prove it, and the dash cam footage is watching you at the time that this complaint was made give food to some unknown individual, and you're in the same radius. You see what I mean by that dash cam could be golden? Yeah, the whole thing is stupid. It's like a Neo says, someone's going to always find a way to game the system, and that's a shame. See, a lot of restaurants I swing by. Let's see. Sometimes the app isn't working at particular times. It wouldn't be too much time, but the customer could lie and say it wasn't their signature. That's true, Neo, but when it comes to the law, it doesn't really matter. You could say that they could say that it's a forgery, but at that point, the responsibility is going to bounce back to them because the signature would pretty much prove that someone signed for it. Like, you know how they changed, this is actually one of the things they changed about the new app. The old app used to have this, but when you drop it off, it says who you're dropping this off with, like the doorman, the person, or the spouse or whatever. If they added that feature, it would basically serve the same purpose, except for it would be lawfully binding. Let's see. What did you miss? Adrian, we talked about the new Uber app and what people think about these Uber Eats changes. And we actually talked about taxes for a good while. Let's see. Look for the order number. Yeah, that's one thing you could do. I'd rather not have to screenshot every freaking order I do, but that's what I mean by if it came down to it, I could live with that signature happening, just so I wouldn't have to do stuff like that. Let's see. I deliver medication on the side. It requires a digital signature upon delivery, and I hate it. It makes my phone slow. Yeah, that would be a good example of how it could come with some problems. We have booze delivery here now. The app requires customer signature for it. Yeah. Why did they stop that? I'm not sure, Neo. That's one of the things I noticed about the new app. They just certain things they took out for no reason. That's one of them. I can't really. Let me think. I don't know. What do y'all think? Why did they take out the ability to, if you leave it with the concierge or the doorman or whatever, you can't say that you left it with them. You just slide completed delivery. How about using the body cams from proof of drop off? Yeah, it goes back to that dash cam. Let's see. That's awesome. I don't like that you can't see when a customer messages you when you are driving. Yeah, that the new app. Now that could be a phone setting, Adrian. You might play around with the new app because mine, I should have screenshotted it. The next time it happens, I'll screenshot it. But like on my Waze app, I have my navigation up, and this little box will appear in front of the Waze app saying the message. I think that's pretty cool. It's definitely better than the previous where it would just take you out of your navigation just so the Uber app would come up. And I would actually just exit out the Uber app because that's dangerous. You need to be watching your navigation. And a customer messages you and bam, it just takes you out of your navigation. That was a problem. In fact, I went so far as that if I needed to message the customer, I would just message the third-party number on there just so it wouldn't be in the Uber navigation. Now, that's one thing that's definitely an improvement with this new Uber app. They have it so that the message will pop up on your navigation without interrupting it. Yeah. You probably have to update your phone. You'll want to check if you're using an iPhone or Android. It's gonna depend. Because I know based on what we're hearing, the iPhone still has an old app. So if that's the case, then yeah. I'm using Android. All right, we'll go to an hour, 30 minutes, then we'll hang it up. You might just need to update your app, Adrian, but truth be told, a lot of what we covered, a lot of people do like the old app better. So I'll probably hang on to it as long as possible. I wouldn't be so enthusiastic about updating. Because there are some features that they took away with this new app that aren't for the best. I really hate the fact that I couldn't have had that new app video out before we did this Q&A, but it'll be released later today or tomorrow. But I talk about the biggest differences between them there. A lot of them are subtle, but they're pretty big. So I prefer the old app. Yeah, I would stick with that as long as possible. Eventually you will have to update. Ride that old app as long as possible. All right, so for the last few minutes or 10 or so minutes, what do y'all think that Uber Eats should do going forward? Like based on all these changes or whatever, what would y'all like to see the Uber Eats platform actually do? There will be, hey, I'm totally for it. Yeah, let's do it. I like the old app because I was racking up late time fees. Yeah, yeah, Ricky, I remember your comment about $50 a week in wait time fees. I mean, damn. I thought I got my share, but you got me beat. Let's see. I heard something about Uber Eats wanting to use drones. Yeah, that came out like maybe 2 or 3 months ago. They're talking about they would love to have drones deliver food. And here's the thing, and I know DoorDash was talking about having these robots deliver food like years ago. Like when it comes to self-driving cars, Postmates is experimenting with self-driving cars too. But here's the thing with when it comes to rideshare, I do see self-driving cars happening eventually, like all the cars on the road as far as the normal Uber and normal Lyft, they're going to be self-driven. I see that coming. With food, it seems like a joke to me. It just seems like a straight up joke. How many times have y'all tried to negotiate someone coming downstairs to meet you and they just insist that you come up and bring food? How many times does that happen? Or maybe not even how many times does that happen. How many times does this happen? They're on the 40th floor, and then they have in the notes, they give you all the details on how to get to the 40th floor, basically hinting, look, I'm not going to come out and meet you. You're going to have these people come all the way downstairs and meet their self-driven car, pick up the food. That ain't happening. Yeah, that's probably where they're talking about these drones. Like, well, if you open your window up, then the food can be delivered that way. The whole thing is stupid. And truth be told, it's actually setting them up for a lawsuit. Because what if a person isn't physically able to go down? Like, these hospitals are a perfect situation. Person is physically not able to go down and meet their carrier. Can they just simply not order? Because a self-driving car is just going to sit there for 5 minutes and automatically cancel the order, right? So they're setting themselves up for a lawsuit based on the Disability Act. I mean, it's just stupid. Let's see. Let us see where we are picking up from and delivering to, Paul. Yeah, definitely. Eventually, they are going to have to do that because most of these other apps are doing that. I hope alcohol delivery gains traction. There's a lot of business in it. Chris, I will say this. That's not really a thing where I'm at. Now, they do have Uber Rush, but I don't do Uber Rush, but that's basically like grocery delivery. But as far as a service focusing just on alcohol, that hasn't hit a. It might be something that's trying out in Canada right now. I don't know. I probably wouldn't be the biggest fan of it, but that's probably because I'm not going to be the person that delivers alcohol. But from a business perspective, it could gain some traction. Make a delivery minimum, like D said. Okay. Neo, if they did make a minimum delivery fee, what would it be for you? $4, $5, and look at it from their end too. We can't say something unreasonable like $7 for one, like 0.5 miles away. It had to be, reasonable. Move customer service to USA. When you are on a delivery, it's hard to drive and deal with a language barrier at the same time. Wow, that's some real constructive feedback. Very true too. Most of the support is from a foreign country. And there could be a language barrier. So, that's something that I guess from a business end, it might be hard to implement because of the wage difference, but it's something they need to think about, that's for sure. Let us set a fixed operating rate range. So you're saying that I don't want to accept like 5 miles, 10 miles. And basically, you only get deliveries that keep you within that range. No, if they did something like that, similar to destination filter, like on UberX, destination filter is, let's say if I wanted to go to the airport, I can set the destination filter to the airport and only get rides going to or in the direction of the airport. They could do the same thing with that fixed operating range. Like you could use it maybe twice a day. Because not only would that help full-time drivers, it would help part-time drivers a lot too. I've had situations where, my appointment is 30 minutes away. Well, my appointment is in 30 minutes. I'm in the vicinity, and I would love to grab an Uber Eats order or two. This is an instance where, I wouldn't mind having a short trip, but, opinions will come in. I just had to decline because I don't know if it's going to take me on the other side of the planet. You're going to have this scenario where when I start a trip, I'm going back in the restaurant saying, look, someone else got to pick this up and I'm going to cancel it. So if they had that range, that would solve that problem. Since they won't do an hourly wage, really looking at better ways to make it worth it for the driver. Yeah. For Neo. For starters, they need to make anything 2 miles or less a flat $5 fee. $3.60 is bullshit. I will say this is something where they could probably learn from Postmates. Postmates has a minimum fare supplement of $4. So yeah, if it's under $4, that they'll raise it up to $4. That's definitely something they could look at. In fact, they could just be competitive by beating it, and like you say, do a $5 flat fee. Because anything, truth be told, anything under $5 in general is it's crap. And I don't care if it literally, if the restaurant, I don't care if an employee order from that restaurant inside the restaurant. The delivery fee for the driver needs to at least be $5. Let's see. Now, $5 would be reasonable. That adds up to $10, closer than $2. Yeah. Neo. Let us pick the restaurants we want. For example, all drive-through or all walk-ins. Mainly most of the restaurants that have the drive-through thing is fast food places like Taco Bueno and McDonald's, and it's usually after hours. Now, I'm not sure if that'd be feasible for them because, let's say if you don't want to wait in the drive-through. Well, then all drivers had to wait in the drive-thru. Some people would prefer to go inside, so I'm not sure how they would make that work. I'm one of the people that's anti-drive-thru. I'd much rather go inside. I don't think under any circumstance should we be waiting where customers are in front of us, because we're not there to eat. We're just picking up food. Let's see. $5 has a nice ring to it. That's a good idea, D. From Ricky. Yeah. I would... All these changes that they implemented, I think they'd be more accepted if they had that minimum fare supplement. Like the minimum guaranteed amount, as far as that incentive goes, is going to have to be $5 if you're going around the corner. Like, well, I think I deleted the screenshot, but in the video where I talk about the incentive, you see where those fares that I brought up, they were $5 minimum guaranteed. They went like half a mile or about a mile. And, that was actually pretty nice as far as I got paid $5 for going, under a mile away or maybe a mile and a half. Yeah, that was pretty nice. If they could implement that scenario just under normal conditions, not have it be that incentive, I think carriers would they would respect these changes more. Like, you know what? These changes, I could live with them just because of that. Let's see. The silly thing is that some drive-through spots make you go inside for pickup. Yeah, that is, Ricky, I'm going to say I have a bias. I really am anti-drive-through, so I would say that would be perfect for me. But I guess it would go against the theme of that restaurant, seeing that it is a drive-through spot. Some Drive Thursday are empty and they still make you go inside. From D. They got to have an established protocol for food delivery. So it's either going to be drive-through or pickup. I don't blame them for mixing them because from a business perspective, it can really be confusing for employees and it can put more strain in areas that it doesn't need to be. So I don't blame them for picking one. Let's see. I don't mind going in. I just want to pick up the food and leave. Yeah, I'm with Neo. As long as the total time I'm there is relatively short, either one is fine. I've done Sonic and a few times I've had to go in. You know what, Sonic, I have a golden rule with Sonic. I just give him like 3 minutes. I usually get 5. I give him 3 minutes. Because, that's a scenario where you're having to wait and you'll be put in a line. I don't think that's fair. We're just there to pick up food. We're not ordering. So we need to be top priority, and Sonic is a restaurant where that's not happening in most cases. With the exception, with some of them you can walk in, but strictly the drive-through ones. I love Sonic. I pull up to any window, and the staff is usually quick with the food. Yeah, those Sonics, they're cool, but I have seen Sonics where that is not the case. Generally speaking, though, Sonic is a fast food place. When I say fast food, they usually are fast with bringing their food out. So as long as they're not straggling, that's fine. I've been lucky and didn't have to wait with Sonic. They just wanted to confirm the order. My guy at the McDonald's I camp always prioritizes Uber orders. He's awesome. Well, he needs to duplicate that throughout the whole franchise. Oh, man. Maybe McDonald's would be better accepted if they just had it ready and then boom. Instead of us, they getting it ready when we walk in. But yeah, that's officially been an hour and 30 minutes, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and head out of here. Hope y'all enjoyed this Q&A. I think we definitely got some good answers circulated, some good questions popped out too. Because all these changes, if they're going to make changes, they do need some fresh ideas. So that ends the official monthly Q&A for the month of September when it comes to Uber Eats. If y'all haven't done so yet, you want to go to the uberlifestyle.com, check out the content there. And that's it for now, guys. Have a nice day. Have a good week. And I'll see y'all in the next Q&A. Peace out.